want to ask a question, a practical question. Do you think the US Embassy will not mind na tinatambakan yung likod nila ng China? It's just a practical question. Why you allowed that? I mean, ako, coming from the point of view of US Embassy, matatakot ako na yung likod ko hinarangan na ng China, di ba? Ikaw, I'm asking you, as a person, dapat pag nag-i-issue kayo ng mga permit, dapat na nare-realize nyo rin yun na may mga other consideration na hindi lamang just to go through with issuing ECC. Oo, kasi parang automatic question. Do you think the US Embassy will not mind na tinatambakan yung likod nila ng China? It's just a practical question. Why you allowed that? I mean, ako, coming from the point of view of US Embassy, matatakot ako na yung likod ko hinarangan na ng China, di ba?
Chair, I would like to call Undersecretary Leones at this point to also add further detail to what Yusek Una has. Yes, Madam, we were just given 3 chairs, so.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Good morning, Mr. Senator. Actually, I agree with I would like to support the comment of Yusek Michkuna, but I just want to add, in my experience in the DNR and EMB, Madam Secretary, all ECCs are really cleared by the Secretary. And ginawa po natin ganyan to give flexibility to the Secretary because there are cases really that the Secretary would want to sign the ECC. So, niya po niyan. Then he delegates to the EMB Director. But all ECCs are really cleared by the Office of the Secretary.
I just want to ask this question. How about the revival of canceled ECCs? Like what happened in Altec case in our Las Piñas Wetland Park. Is that with authority of the DNR Secretary? Kasi yung amin kinanceled na ng DNR Secretary 8 days before mag-end ng term, pinirmahan pa yung ECC. Ano ba yon? Yes.
If I may call Yusek Junadobo to respond to that directly.
Madam Chair, if I may, all was stated are actually in our rules. No? First, the EU issued by then President Gloria, and there is it's a DAO in 2016. We call it Manual of Authorities, but specifically, the Secretary issued another DAO giving authority to specific undersecretaries to sign documents for the Secretary. This was issued by then in charge of the department, Mr. Sampulna, Jim Sampulna. So that was the reason why at the end of the term, the last dispensation.
Canceled ECCs to Tapos nung makancel ECC, naging legislated protected area. Tapos mag-i-issue kayo ng another ECC. Anong system to?
If you are referring, ma'am, to Altec, what really happened was there was a ruling by the court saying, we initially said...
That was a ruling of the court during 2013. Parang on appeal yun we issued that petition for writ of kalikasan in 2013. No bearing na yun kasi it was declared a legislated protected area in 2018. So wala nang bearing yung bigla silang nag-issue ng ganon. But that was a court case filed in 2013. Decision, it's not after 2013.
There was an ECC, which we even say unused for 5 years.
There was no revival of the ECC. It was just issued by Conado 8 days
This is another
June.
Not Altec.
Paano nangyari yon?
I can speak of Altec. The pronouncement was It was not the fault of the proponent that the project did not start, that the project was not implemented because of the writ of kalikasan that was filed. So,
No, 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 no. No, it was issued by your by your secretary. It was cancelled.
Bacoor yata, you know.
It's Las Piñas.
Anyway, that's
It was
what-
Las Piñas. It was cancelled by your secretary, and then it was declared a legislated protected area. Why in 2022 bigla kayo nag-issue ng ECC na hindi nyo man lang, wala man lang consultation, walang any process? Bigla na lang lumabas yung ECC out of nowhere.
That's correct, ma'am. It was
Oh.
cancelled. But
Oh.
we asked for reconsideration, saying, because the reason of the cancellation was for non-use for 5 years. The
Oh.
project was not implemented within that
But it
duration.
was cancelled.
Exactly, ma'am.
It
But,
was cancelled. And after that, it was declared as a legislated protected area. So wala kayong pakialam kung na-declare siyang legislated protected area done by Congress? You will issue again ECC?
it was revived. It was revived.
O, miski na. Eh, na-declare na yung legislated protected area. That's an act of Congress. Ba't kayo magre-renew ng ECC? It was a long time ago case. But so many things happened after that. And then bigla na lang eto, biglang may ECC naman. How can you explain that? Wala man lang nagsabi sa amin. Meron ng legislated protected area, may PAMBI na. Walang nakakaalam, bigla na lang may ECC. So how can you explain that? Please explain that. I cannot understand that. Yeah. Ms. Risa, we recognize Senator Hontiveros.
Salamat, Madam Chair. Just to add questions to the hearing, pero a brief opening remark lang po na, well, magandang umaga, halos tanghali po sa ating lahat. And maraming salamat kay Chair Cynthia sa pagdinig ng mga resolusyon namin ni Minority Leader Sen. Coco Pimentel para imbestigahan ang malawakang reclamation project sa ating bansa. Nitong nakaraang buwan lamang, pinanawagan ko po na huwag na tayong tumanggap ng mga China-funded reclamation projects. Hindi lang dahil palala ng palala ang ginagawa ng China sa ating mga mangingisda at tropa sa West Philippine Sea, kundi dahil sa walang pakundangang pagsira ng China sa ating mga likas yaman sa ating mismong mga karagatan. Now, one of the companies involved in the reclamation of Manila Bay is the China Communications Construction Company, a company that built and militarized artificial islands in the West Philippine Sea. They destroyed reef ecosystems whose complex structures, experts say, were built over centuries to millennia. Pero sa isang iglap lang, winasak ito ng China. Recklessly undertaking reclamation projects can cause massive and irreversible damage to marine ecosystems, such as the one caused by China in our own waters. Aside from disturbing and disrupting the marine environment, land reclamation and seabed quarrying also threaten to displace marginal fisherfolk and deprive them of their livelihood by excluding them from their traditional fishing grounds in municipal waters. Among others, we need to ensure that people are able to meaningfully participate in the approval process of large-scale projects that affect their communities, and that the legal, technical, and social frameworks for such projects are well defined. Bukod pa dito, matinding mga pagbaha ang epekto ng reclamation activities. Malaking kapahamakan at panganib ang haharapin ng mga residente sa housing at commercial areas sa mga reclamation projects na ito. Kaya, Madam Chair, sana po sa pagdinig na ito ay matiyak natin na makita, maranasan at mapakinabangan ng mga susunod na henerasyon ang likas yaman na maingat na inaalagaan at minahal ng ating mga ninuno. So just to continue with the questioning, Madam Chair, I'd like to ask about the Chinese involvement sa PRA po. Sorry, sino po yung taga-PRA dito? Yes, sir. Attorney Literal.
Good morning po, Madam Senator.
Good
Madam
morning. Good morning, sir.
Chair. The involvement of the Chinese contractor is on the side of the, as I've said earlier, it's on the side of the contractual joint venture between the LG of Manila and its partner, which is Waterfront Premier Development Corporation. It's not a, it's the contractor of Waterfront, and it's a subsidiary of the CCCC. This is China First Highways Engineering Corporation, Madam Chair.
Gayunpaman, Attorney Literal, kahit sa opinion na lang po ng PRA, hindi po ba tayo concerned na yung Chinese state-owned contractor na gumagawa ng reclamation work sa Manila Bay, so dahil kayo naman yung Philippine Reclamation Authority, baka may opinion kayo dito, hindi po ba tayo concerned na yon ay may ties sa Chinese company na tinutulungan ang China i-militarize ang West Philippine Sea? Dahil po sa artificial islands na kinonstruct nitong kumpanyang ito, yung Chinese Coast Guard at yung People's Liberation Army Navy tuloy ay nahaharas nila halos non-stop yung mga Philippine vessels. So concerned po ba yung PRA doon?
Actually, Madam Chair, we're concerned na because of these issues which happened lately. But first, even before we allowed the operations of these contractors of China, from China, we required this contractor to secure a special permit under the rules of the Marina, and as submitted to us, since we are the one evaluating these permits, they have submitted a clearance from the Coast Guard, from the Marina, and also during that time, Madam Senator, an endorsement from the National Security Council. So during that time, actually, ma'am, hindi naging issue, unlike nitong when they were already undertaking na nagkaroon ng issue na na-raise na po ito ng US Embassy and yung sa World Bank blacklisting of CCCC. So, moving forward, ma'am, siguro kasi andito na po yun. So, we're doing risk management on the part, and also naman nakasuspend po siya. But prospectively, these areas should now be considered as part of the requirements of PRA, Madam Chair and Madam Senator.
So sir, kailan po sila nakapag-submit sa inyo ng mga dokumento o permit galing sa Marina, Coast Guard at NSC? Anong taon po yon?
Mga 2022 po yan.
Just last year, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
The papers.
Yes, ma'am. Secure ko lang, ma'am, and it will furnish the
Give us the
committee.
papers and
Yes, ma'am.
yung mga papers na hinihingi ko sa inyo, please give us the papers.
Ma'am, we will submit yung pro forma MOU you requested earlier, and also these clearances from Marina, Coast Guard, and National Security Council. We will submit, Madam Chair, Madam Senator.
Just want to ask a question, a practical question. Do you think the US Embassy will not mind na tinatambakan yung likod nila ng China? Just a practical question. Why you allowed that? I mean, ako, coming from the point of view of US Embassy, matatakot ako na yung likod ko hinarangan na ng China, di ba? Ikaw, I'm asking you, as a person, dapat pag nag-i-issue kayo ng mga permit, dapat na nare-realize nyo rin yun na may mga other consideration na hindi lamang just to go through with issuing ECC. Oo, kasi parang automatic sa inyo ang mag-issue ng ECC kahit na may mga other consideration na dapat nyo i-consider. Ako, pagkadinig ko yun na nagreklamo yung embassy, I understand them kasi they're afraid because at their back are the Chinese. Oo.
PRA yung permit yung notice to proceed.
Ano?
permit kung ini-issue ng PR notice to proceed with the project with ACC sa DNR.
Yeah, but miski yung notice to proceed with the project, it's common sense, hindi ba? Na matatakot yung American Embassy na nasa likod nila, China. Di ba? I mean, what do you think? I'm just asking you a personal question. No, what do you think?
Ma'am, on the personal question, yes, I believe that the US Embassy is concerned on the project at the back of the embassy. But going on the matter on the approval or the NTP, there's a condition in the area clearance about the security of the US Embassy. It's contained there, and the Philippine Navy was consulted on this matter, and per document submitted by the Philippine Navy, they required the width of the channels at the back of embassy and the starting of the property of the development of waterfront. And based on the documents submitted to us by DNR, NCR, and also by the proponent, they have secured a clearance already from the Philippine Navy with respect to the ingress, egress, and the requirement of the channel that would allow the maneuvering of the vessels of the Philippine Navy in the Philippine Navy station that would secure the U.S. Embassy, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Under this administration, we view all reclamation as having both an environmental, social, anthropological, and cultural, as well as a security dimension. And therefore, in a review of the governance process and the compliance review we are now undertaking, we are taking into consideration the geostrategic implications of all these activities. And we are, in fact, recommending that any issues regarding the Philippine Navy or any branch of service approval be elevated to the Department of National Defense and the Department of Foreign Affairs. In this regard, this is a process that we are now, in fact, writing up. And it will be part of our recommendation in terms of the modification of the governance process for reclamation.
Yeah, that's why Secretary Loizaga, we are having this hearing so that we can revise what you are doing now. Kasi there must be something wrong with what you're doing. Just like what happened to us, what happened to the US Embassy. And I was there. There was no passage. Oh, even yung Coconut Palace, we were there. Wala namang passage between the Coconut Palace and the reclamation. It's beside it. Just like what you're going to do with the Las Piñas Parañaque Wetland Park. There is a reclamation after the park, and we have there 35 hectares and mangrove. Pag walang passage doon, mamamatay lahat yung mangrove na yon, and illegal to construct the mangrove. Paano namang nag-issuehan ng ECC yun? So, there must be something wrong with the process. That's why we're hearing this. We want to review the process and change whatever is wrong with the process. And I would like the people from the DNR not to agree to that if that is wrong. You must say what should be done. It's not agreeing to what has been done because there must be something wrong with what has been done. So I'm asking people, especially DNR, I always say to you, di ba? Huwag kayo mag-promote ng business, mag-promote kayo ng environmental protection. Let DTI promote business, but not the DNR, because you're supposed to protect the environment. You're not supposed to protect business. Diba? Let the other department who are engaged in business protect business, but not you, because you are there to protect the environment. I wish to acknowledge the presence of Senator Jingo Estrada. Thank you very much.
Madam Chair,